This is for Leif. Well, I guess it is for Leif. I heard you say it is important to think. I heard Jocko say this too. How do you think? Meaning, how do you talk to yourself? Do you ask yourself questions? Do you think by talking to others? What do you believe is the most valuable method for becoming a clear thinker and communicator?
That's a deep question.
I actually think it's pretty easy to answer.
It is easy to answer, I think.
I can answer it in one word.
Go.
Detach. That's how I think. You can't. You got to step out. You got to step back mentally. You got to step back, look at what's going on, and think. And that's where you can think about it. That's where you can figure out what's going on. If you can do that, you're there. If you can't do it, you don't even know you're not doing it. That's the problem. When you're not detached, you don't even know you're not detached. You're in the storm and you don't even know it.
That's
something to watch out for.
That's exactly right. But I think, for people that maybe don't fully understand what that means, right? This idea of detachment, which you've obviously talked a lot about on here, and which is such a key thing for decision making. It's I think the key thing there is to make sure that you're not clouded by this emotional attachment to plans, which we often talked about with our leaders in the SEAL team. So I'm emotionally invested in a plan that I came up with. I spent hours or days or weeks or months, involved in, and I want that to succeed, of course. But is that, I got to have that realistic assessment. And that's what the detachment really requires, is that you pull yourself not just physically away, out of the weeds, or to say, okay, let me think about this in the strategic picture, but you take away that emotional investment that you have to maybe, even whether it's a plan, sometimes it's a team member as well. And if you have, someone that you just have a close relationship with, that whether they're a relative of yours or you had a long-standing relationship with, and that maybe you've gotten too close to them and you can't see that they become more important than the mission, and they're dragging the rest of the team down, and you're not making the call, either tighten them up or let them go if that's the right case. So I think what that really requires is you got to emotionally pull back. It's a mental thing to really have a brutally honest assessment of the situation that's independent from any kind of previous bias that you might have had.
That's interesting there, because even if like, oh yeah, I'm going to detach.
Oh, it's right? Not that easy.
Yeah, like you can't just go through the motions.
No.
You can't be like, hey, I'm going to detach. I'm detached right now. Meanwhile, you're just, like you said, clouded by the emotional part that you're like kind of 1 foot in emotionally. So you're technically not detached, so it doesn't work.
You know what else is a good way to think? Is to listen. You listen to what people are saying. I've been thinking about Hal Moore, how he said, if you listen, you know twice as much. You know everything that you know, and you know everything that the other guy knows.
Yeah.
That's a great thing. But if you're sitting in a conversation, I mean, from a business perspective, if you're in a meeting and there's a conversation going on, if you're in the conversation, you're talking, you're adding your piece, well, then you're not detached. You're in it. But if you sit back and you listen and you hear what's going on, you can assemble, thoughts better.